What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? So I was checking out Dr. Greger's video entitled Vegetarian Muscle Power, Strength, and Endurance. And I just had to respond to the bullshit. So in that video, Dr. Greger uses a few studies conducted on vegetarians to try to argue that the vegan diet is going to enhance your muscle power, strength, and endurance. Now, I was going to read these studies. However, Dr. Greger doesn't provide any links to the studies that he cherry picks. And I'm not going to waste my time looking for them. Well, I mean, he doesn't want you to anyway, right? Because as he says himself, I cherry picked these studies so you don't have to, right? I read them so you don't have to. No, don't go reading these studies now, all right? Believe what I say. I'm not going to waste my time doing that because he doesn't want me to. And because right off the bat, and within the first minute or so of the video, Dr. Greger makes quite a few blatant contradictions, proving himself to be a fucking hypocrite and full of shit. So first and foremost, how do studies on vegetarians prove anything about vegans? How'd that work? I mean, I know he says that these 4 vegetarians, or these 4 people who we don't know shit about, right? When they took the meat out of their diet, they performed slightly better. I mean, how much better? You know, like, just 4 people, yeah? What are the methods of this study exactly? We can't even go find this out because he doesn't want us to. But anyway, Dr. Greger, who says that eating an egg is like smoking 5 cigarettes, will give you better endurance. Drinking milk, which is a killer, is going to make you more powerful, stronger, and give you better endurance, right? Ain't that what vegetarians eat? Eggs, milk. What the fuck? How do you, on the one hand, tell us that eating an egg is like smoking 5 cigarettes, but it enhances your endurance? If you want to talk about the benefits of the vegan diet, show us some studies on vegans, preferably long-term vegans. Not a carb-fueled metabolism of a meat eater, occasional meat eater, that will benefit from taking out the fats, right? Because if you run a carb metabolism, the fats get in the way. So if you take out the fats and only feed carbs to a metabolism that's used to running on carbs, it's likely that there'll be some benefits. Duh. But he talks about the Tarahumara as some kind of vegetarian tribe that lives high up in the hills of Mexico, who have a long history of being great long-distance runners. They will run 160 miles, he says, without stopping, right? And because they eat a plant-based diet rich in carbs, it's proof that carbs are great for long-term running. And only carbs, right? But what he doesn't tell you is that the reason why the Tarahumara developed this rich culture tradition of long distance running is because they are, or at the very least were up until very recently, persistence hunters, right? What they do is they run down their prey, because human beings are better runners than animals because we sweat and cool our bodies down like that, whereas animals have to breathe through their mouth, which exhausts them, and they can't run long distance like we can. They sprint faster, right? These animals that run a fat metabolism, they're better sprinters than us, but they can't run long distance because of other physiology that has nothing to do with your diet, right? That has nothing to do with your diet, which leads me to my next point. There is a tribe in Kenya, I believe Kenjin, I forget what they're called. Anyway, they are the ones who produce something like 95% of the best marathon runners in the world, right? But they're not Africans in general, or not all of Africa produces these people. It's this one tiny tribe in Kenya who has a history of running long distances. Perhaps also because they were persistent hunters. I'm not sure. But, you know, a lot of, basically the point I'm trying to make is that with the Tarahumara, as well as the Kenyan tribe, a lot has to do with your culture, right? They train from very little to do this, and your genetics, your evolution as this animal who has learned and perfected a certain skill and evolved doing that. That's why they're so fucking good at it, right? So what I'm trying to say is that there are other factors here at play, just as with the animal who cannot run long distance and the human animal who can. Different genetics have a lot to do with that. Is the carb metabolism better for long distance running? Is it? Well, yeah, if you have support vehicles driving right next to you and feeding you carbs, these little gels and Gatorade and whatever else you need to put in your body, yeah, then you could run long distances with these support vehicles, providing you with fuel nonstop. Is that how the Tarahumara run? No. Within the first, I don't know, 10 miles maybe, of your 160-mile run, the Tarahumara will burn up all the carbs, all the glycogen in their body, basically. They'll burn all that up, and in order for them to continue to run, they're going to have to dip into their fat stores, right? They're going to switch from burning sugar to burning fat. So for these natural people to be able to run long distances like 160 miles, as Gregor says, they can't do that on sugar metabolism, because those are short burst energy. We have a very small gas tank, if you will, when it comes to these carbs, and we're going to burn through them really quickly. And then either you keep feeding that metabolism sugar, as in the case of modern marathon runners, or they're going to switch to fat burning, and they're going to run on fat. So Greg is full of shit, man. He's completely and utterly full of shit. And as far as which one's better, carb metabolism or fat metabolism, I mean, we don't really know. But what we're finding out with long-distance runners such as Zach Bitter, who runs a fat metabolism and breaks world records by a mile, or many more, is that, and not just him, but people like him who are starting to follow his protocol, is that it seems that a lot of these people who were running on carbs, essentially, when they switch over to a ketogenic diet, their performance improves. That's what we're finding out right now. Okay? And the Tarahumara aren't vegetarian because traditionally they're persistence hunters. Right? And there's no way in hell they could run 160 miles purely on carbs without support vehicles feeding them these concentrated carb sources, carb fuel. It's impossible. So, you know, and just this idea that in one video, eating an egg is like smoking 5 cigarettes, but in another video, eating eggs improves your endurance. I mean, what kind of a fucking clown do you have to be, Dr. Greger, to say this dumb shit? And what kind of a fucking moron do you have to be to believe the nonsense that Dr. Greger pushes? Seriously, people, I don't give a shit what you eat. Eat whatever the fuck you want. Good luck. But can we be honest? Can we keep it real? And can we start making fucking sense? I hope so. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.